Hey everyone, I apologize for this slow network and poor connection, but Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas NFL Stadium, Lott Fortress NFL Owners Meeting live stream recap is underway. Welcome, thank you very much. And it's 9:18 where you are, probably 9:20 if you're on the Pacific Coast, and if you are on the other side, on the right coast, it's 12 midnight. Actually, it's after midnight. It is late. And first of all, thank you very much. And hey, how is everybody doing? And I hope you all can hear this. And this is the first time I've done this live stream this is where I live, okay? I'm at my mother's place. I live there too. But now I'm back in Oakland. And this is the first time I've done a live stream here, okay? So so far looks like it's so good. And you can hear me. Thank you very much for letting me know that you can hear me. Much appreciated. And thank you. And also I want to apologize to Save Oakland Sports and to Lupo, because I'm looking down adjusting the live stream. Hi everybody. Because he texted me about an hour ago, I think it was, and I was in San Francisco with some friends, and it says stream status is good. Yes! Yahoo! That's awesome. And he said, hey, can you come over to the Save Oakland Sports meeting? And it caught me off guard because I hadn't planned to do that, right? So he was understanding and said we'd catch up very soon, and I appreciate his reaching out to me and inviting me. I do need to get my over there, and enjoy talking Raiders issues with other Raider fans. That's what it's all about. This is a day, as I think was it Churchill or MacArthur would say, will live in infamy. And I think for obvious reasons, in that we've got we have a situation, and I don't mean, when I say situation, I don't mean a situation like the situation, right? I mean we have a situation because, as you know, Oakland Raiders owner Mark Davis has secured, well, he hasn't secured anything. Let me get this straight. I got to get that out of my head. You know how sometimes it doesn't, sometimes you hear these things, you read these things, and they get pummeled into your head, right? So as a result, I'm thinking, okay, in the back of my mind, in my subconscious, it's secured. But it's not. It's not. He secured nothing. What he has is a partnership, all right? That's what he has. And I know there's been a lot written about it, most of it wrong, because we're talking about lay people. And we're talking about lay people trying to explain something for which they have no background, and describing it to a lay audience. And so, by contrast, I have some experience working for not just the mayor of Oakland, but also private developers, doing market studies, and as a result, I'm comfortable with this subject. To say the least. Okay. Now, you say, what are you doing right there, dude? I'm setting my meta tags. All right. I'm setting my meta tags, and I'm setting these meta tags so that they properly identify the live stream for whoever is out there. All right. Hey, 7-1. Whoever thumbs down me, whatever. Hector Vasquez, how are you? Hector, you say it doesn't sound good? The volume, is that better? It's not, Casper, it is not over for Oakland, all right? Sergio Vargas, hit us with the truth, I will do that. Hector's collateral, right. Sitton, ESPN is acting like this partnership is pretty much a done deal. ESPN doesn't know what they're talking about. Well, Vinny, whatever, okay? Go Lakers, exactly, all right? Now, here is the real deal, all right? You all, okay. Oh, gotcha, yeah. No, here's the deal, all right? And Frederick Walker. Hey, Frederick, Mr. Walker, how are you? The man. Grubman said Collateral be stadium. Yes, and that is the problem. Mr. Walker, that, I'm putting this in caps. That is the problem. Okay? Now for those of you who may have missed my video, all right, today I called a friend of mine who is, and without giving away too much, basically he worked on the legislation that led to what's called SB 1 or Senate Bill 1 that formed the $750 million subsidy provision, okay? And he has been at every SNTIC meeting. We've talked a lot. He's a great person to talk to. I consider a friend, and I've even shared information with him. Okay, to be blunt, I shared a spreadsheet that I made that Mark Davis asked me to make. I shared it with him because it was their first crack at things, all right? And, you know, I wanted to be friendly and show, hey, there was no hard feelings here. That's ridiculous. So that's what I did. Thank you, Richard Ray. Thank you very much. And so, no, hey, Donald Richardson, no, you arrived just in time. I've only been on for about 3-4 minutes, okay? At any rate, back to what I was saying. The situation is that, and I explained to him, I said, hey, Mark Davis and Mark Bedane have put together a partnership with Bank of America where they've got funding, they say, or at least they're planning on it, for $650 million of the same, which would turn to $738 million when you add interest, assuming it's 7% over 30 years, annual, compounded annually. And I said that they would have to put up the stadium as collateral. His words were, and I quote, "They can't do that." I will repeat. His words were, "They can't do that." All right? All right? I'm going to say that one more time. His words were, "They can't do that." And the reason is this, and this is actually written in stone. He then said, you know, he then said, I don't know of anybody around here who's working on a rewrite of the legislation. The legislation you can read. It's available at the website of the Las Vegas Stadium Authority. And if you type Senate Bill 1 Stadium in Google, it'll come up, PDF. Okay? It's free for anyone to read. It's going to take you a while, but it's worth it. All right? And many of you who followed this have already read it. I mean, you followed the SNTIC hearings and meetings, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, that's Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Committee, right? All right. Now, the reason they can't do that is because Clark County Stadium Authority owns the stadium. And my friend said, okay, let's say that they did this. That would mean they, being the Raiders and the Bank of America, put this deal together. And it defaulted. And a lien was attached. The attachment of the lien to the stadium would mean that Bank of America was the private owner and would shift the stadium from public to private ownership, which would then call for generating a property tax, which would then call for the collection of a property tax, all right? And he said, and I quote, "and we didn't factor that in." So this is a big problem, all right? This is a big problem. Now, when I took it to the NFL, I'll get your questions in a sec. Frederick Walker says, Fred Walker, I think Bank of America's only bank would approve the loan. Well, hey, Frederick, it's not so much the banks approving the loan. I mean, that's half the equation. The problem is that Clark County owns it, and because of the way the legislation is written, you've got to go to the Stadium Authority to do that. And it's not just the Stadium Authority saying thumbs up. It's more complicated than that. I want everyone to understand this. Clark County Stadium Authority was formed as part of a legislation that took a lot of time over a short period of months to assemble from scratch, okay? And the issue is that the idea, and we went back and forth, my friend of mine, about this because I was talking about how we did it in Oakland, because I was there during the formation of the Joint Powers Authority and what it was originally supposed to be, all right? And the big issue is to have the stadium and the authority, the Joint Powers Authority, or the Stadium Authority in their case, as a nonprofit, so that you can issue tax-exempt bond financing. Understand? Tax-exempt bond financing. That's the whole point. But additionally, all right, now, Casper says, but doesn't BFA already know this? This is what they do. Now, that's not the point. Again, it's not B of A knowing it. B of A does not control Clark County Stadium Authority. Okay? That's the point. And again, my friend who's worked as a consultant to to Clark County, the Stadium Authority, SNTIC, was reacting with complete surprise. So if he is reacting with surprise, all right, he's one of a number of consultants, so I'm not giving away anything, but he's a top dog. But my point is that if he is reacting with surprise, then others in Clark County are too. It's one you understand what I'm getting at? Because you have to remember, okay, all right? So my point is that the big problem, and someone says, how do I explain if a walk away for $750 million? Well, that's Tiger Pride. You don't quite understand how this works. It's not walking away from anything because it's not there unless it's more complicated than that, okay? So, no. My whole point is this, that, it's far more complicated than you present. It really is. So, as I say, listen up. The problem is that you have to rewrite the legislation in order to accommodate what Mark Davis and Bank of America are planning. Okay? You have to rewrite the legislation. And there's no stomach to do that. That's the enormous problem. It really is. So, now, someone says that, I don't understand how the NFL can even still consider moving the Raiders when the NHL can't even sell out their season tickets the first year. Barry Lee, that's exactly a point. Rich Guyton, Miguel Rose. Hey, Miguel, how you doing? Mark Davis doesn't care about the Raiders Radio Nation. Rich Guyton says, well, basically, Mark Davis is playing a shell game using the Clark County Stadium to get the $650 million hole financed. I'm going to be very honest, Rich. I think, hey, old boy Messi, I'm going to have to block you with that one. I'm sorry, but I can't have that kind of language here. Okay? About, first of all, he's my god sister. Second of all, you don't say stuff like that. So I waste no time in blocking people who come here to do that. Even if it's to somebody else. You don't do it in my channel. You go someplace else, or you go to your bedroom, take your pillow, put it around your face, and then scream into your pillow nasty things to people. But you're not going to do it here, okay? So my point is that here's the thing. Now, do I believe that they will move? I think, Warren, there is a lot to this, all right? There is a lot to this. So it's not a matter of whether I believe they will move. Obviously, Mark Davis wants to, but for reasons that are still not clear to anybody because the economics don't work. And then, this is the second time. I want you all to be cognizant of this. This is the second time the Raiders have essentially fashioned their own deal without having a key partner at the table with them. And that's the people who are with and advising the Clark County Stadium Authority. That's a huge problem. That is an enormous problem. Now, is anyone out there understanding what I'm saying? I think Octavio says, didn't Bank of America vet the deal properly? Why would they put their name on the deal? They haven't put their name on anything. They haven't put their name on anything. They have a partnership, and they've said they intend to roll out a plan. Intend, all right? But again, you guys are you're treating Bank of America like Bank of America is Jesus Christ. I'm going to remind you of something. The last time we went through this, it was with Sheldon Adelson. Oh, it's fine, everything else. And then it fell apart. I don't know if you're going to understand that these are they're not complicated to me, but they're intricate relationships that call for action upon action upon action. You can't just do a something. All right? And Mark's problem, and I say this with all due respect to Mark Davis, because I like the man, is he is a neophyte. And he wants what he wants. And he's trying to figure out a way to get it, and he's frustrated. And then he doesn't want to work with Oakland. Now, if he says it's the mayor, that's ridiculous. And those of you, complaining about the mayor, that's ridiculous. First of all, folks, the mayor has engineered, I will say this, the longest sustained focus on new stadium development in Oakland we've had since 1996 for the Warriors. We now call Oracle Arena, all right? So you've got to give her credit for that, A. B, the simple fact of the matter is this. Mayors in Oakland come and go. What we need is a focus that surpasses mayors. And if this vote goes on and it drags on, you want to hope that we have solid leadership here, and right now we do. We do. We have a deal. We have a plan. What we don't have is a land assignment that makes the NFL happy, but that can be arranged, all right? Now, am I completely 1,000% happy with what Libby is doing? No, I'm not, okay? There, I said it, all right? I'm not, because arrogantly, she didn't ask me to help her and go in this instance, and I'm going to tell you something, all right? When you go into the room with NFL owners and you know you're the underdog, you put on a message and you put on a show. You bring in all the CEOs you can. You bring in Raider Nation. You bring Save Oakland Sports with you. Have them sitting out the lobby yelling, Raiders, Raiders. You make it absolutely 1,000% clear that you represent the Raiders more than the guy who owns the team. That's the situation you're in. When you come into a situation like that, you come into a fight. That is where you're at. And that's how I would approach it, okay? So just so you understand where I'm coming from. To me, what the Raiders have been doing is an act of war, and I would treat it as such. Not treat them inappropriately, but say, hey, look, you think you're better than me? You think you got a better stadium plan than I do? Nobody. I will outdo you by a factor of 1,000, and here it is. So no, that's how I would handle it. Just saying, all right? Now, Johnny Beckos, do you think that Las Vegas will suffer using $750 million in tax money to construct a stadium? Typically, taxpayers, I missed that one. So A's are starting to build a stadium. A's are planning to build a stadium. Tell the people, Zinni, if Al Davis was alive, the NFL be scared to death. I don't know about all that. Let's see here. If the Raiders decide to move, you're selling your season tickets, okay? That is, and Brandon Boy says, Zinni, why do I like Mark Davis? Because I don't have a reason to dislike him. And I don't, on general principle, dislike somebody just because they're doing a thing, all right? Unless it personally, in this case, this does personally affect all of us. Unquestionably, it does. But look, what if, I want everybody to think crystal ball, big picture, overarching, all right? Hey, let's say the vote goes our way. Mark stays and works with the city and everybody else. So suddenly you're back to loving him, right? So my point is, why hate him to begin with if that possibility exists? Try, rather than using a scorched earth policy, to use an approach that gets to yes. I'm going back to this old Harvard Business School book called Getting to Yes. It was the Harvard Project on Negotiation. That's what all this is about. The trouble is that we have a lot of people in today's society who don't care to get to yes. They just want to flame people all the time. Folks, you're not going to achieve anything worthwhile in this society. Marriage, jobs, wealth, anything, even a little wealth, even a little income, without understanding how to get to yes. Okay? Now, sorry, I want to get to more of your questions and statements. Airplane Blues. Gregory Wesley. Gregory Wesley says, Oakland needs the killer instinct. Absolutely. Austin Nobriega, will the owners vote on Vegas this month? Yes, they will. Timmy Lee. Forget what Vegas is doing. What was the overall feel from the meeting Monday? Libby helped the cause? Yeah, anytime, and Frederick Walker says Mark would go to bank loan in Vegas. Why can't he do it in Oakland? Well, actually, he doesn't really need to. He's got Fortress, okay? Tom Snyder, Zinni, they're coming to Vegas or not? I need your honest opinion. My honest opinion, Tom, is no. I don't think the NFL is going to let them do it. But we have to go through this. There are some people in the league who believe that that Vegas, hey, look, I mean, let's put it this way, and this comes from a guy who knows a lot of the people that are working on what's been going on in Las Vegas. Give them credit. They worked hard. They have worked hard. And they're working hard to achieve what I believe is impossible. I'm telling you that, okay? They really have worked hard. Now, my stream got interrupted a bit, all right? My point is that, can you all hear me? Sorry, my stream got interrupted a little bit there. Okay. My point is, and I think Casper says, so has B of A not officially approved the underwriting of the stadium deal? That's correct. And if not, why have all the reports indicated it's a done deal? Because, Casper, they don't know. You have to remember these are lay people. And that's why. You're talking about, I can tell you're talking about LA Daily News, you're talking about ESPN, all right? You're talking about the usual suspects. It's not their job to really give you anything in depth. And so I ask you, how many times have we been through this, right? We went through this with San Antonio. We went through this with Carson. And now here we go again. How many times have you heard the same sources give you information thinking that something was a done deal? And how many times has it not been a done deal? I mean, I have to ask, don't you learn by now? Okay? I mean, really, don't you? I mean, okay, now you would say back at me, hey, the simple fact that we're asking you questions means that we're not convinced of what we're hearing. I get it, all right? Now, Jack Bowers. Hey, Jack Bauer, how you doing? I like that. Which stadium design looks better, Vegas or Lott Group? I'm going to vote for what I've heard about Lott Group than Vegas, because Vegas is not set in stone anyway. They need to change it. Sergio Vargas. Hey, Sergio, how are you? Do you think Adelson will block this new deal? I don't think he'll block it directly, but I think the way that the Raiders are handling Clark County now is, in some cases, reminiscent of Sheldon Adelson. And that's enough to give people some pause. So, again, this is going to get ugly. All right? Because they need to sort that out. And then, do you think that Radar 89, Brandon Boy. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Zinni, do you think Jerry Jones can sway owners to accept Raiders to move to Las Vegas? Not if it's a bad deal. No, look, I like Jerry Jones. Jerry is not a stupid man. He's not going to say, oh, just do this deal because. No, all right? El Monte, only reason they didn't get LA was because of Kroenke's money, okay? Ruber, Zinni, you're the man. Thanks, man. Thank you. Aeroplane Blues, what sketchy business do you think Adelson will try? I don't think he has to. I'll explain that later, Aeroplane Blues, okay? Nearfall 75, how do you say? It's just like all this other fake news stuff. Very simple solution. Consider the source of what? I mean, yeah. Okay, yeah, consider the source. But it's not fake news, all right? You have to understand. Like, I have a different background. I have someone at the NFL said to me today, I'm not a lay person. I understand in depth. Others don't. I can sit down and develop a spreadsheet of this, as I did on the plane, and tell you where the gaps are, okay? Others don't do that. John Clayton doesn't do it. Jason Cole doesn't do it. Vinny Bonsiori doesn't do it. Sam Farmer doesn't do it. You see what I'm getting at? I'm different. So, now, Rich Guyton, what happens if the relocation is approved and then Clark County and B of A find out over utilizing stadium as collateral? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because we already have the Stadium Authority meeting coming up, all right? And they're already going to ask questions there. So that's not going to happen. It's not going to be like, oh, you get this and then work it out. Because here's my point, right? Why would it be okay to let Las Vegas go with the problems it has, and yet Oakland points out, Eric Grubman says, well, Oakland has this issue regarding the A's, which really isn't an issue at all. The mayor has stated she wants the A's at Howard Terminal. That's where they're going. A. B talks about the timetable. Those two issues can be worked out very easily. When you have only those two problems, you are sitting pretty. Okay? You are sitting pretty. Vegas has major problems. Oh, and we didn't even talk about how the new lease was going to be received. All right? Now, the lease, yeah. Hey, isn't the Fortress DOA? Nope, it's not. The NFL said they don't want a third party in control. There's third parties all over the place. Look, Bank of America is a third party. All right? Sheldon Adelson's a third party. Don't, when you hear stuff like this, don't just say it and not think about it. You have to go to a computer and look up what third party means. Do that. But I'll make it very easy for you. Okay? You and I have a deal. And you basically hire me to help you build a stadium, but you need to pay me. So you bring somebody else and you get the money from them. We got three parties already, right? You see what I'm getting at? That's in any situation. That's in any situation. All of this started in history, and this goes back through videos, because Eric had initially said that we don't want a third mouth to feed, right? But Eric wasn't thinking it through at the time, because these new stadiums are so expensive. You really do need a third mouth to help you. It's not so much a third mouth to feed, it's a third mouth to help you pay for the damn thing, which becomes a third mouth to feed. That's inescapable in the modern era. Sorry, it just is. So, and then not only that, you've got a number of mouths to feed. You've got the naming rights deal struck. The authority gets a cut of that, or the team uses it. I mean, ideally, even look at MetLife Stadium. You've got the Jets and the Giants, and its financial parties. So the Jets and the Giants, that's two parties right there, right off the bat. No, it takes more than two parties today to get these things done. Now, Fortress isn't what NFL wants, B of A is. I do get that feeling. You may have brought this up, but is there... sorry, I missed that question. Went by so fast. Why and what am I gaining? And what am I gaining from this? Well, first of all, I'm a media company, and I know this, and it's fun. My background's in urban planning, not journalism, and I love it. And I've done this before. I headed the effort to bring the Super Bowl to Oakland, and we were given no chance to do this. No chance at all. And from 11 cities, Oakland emerged because of my work to be one of 3 finalists. It was Jacksonville, Oakland, and Miami. I lost. We lost to Jacksonville, but that changed my world. That changed my life. And the NFL really helped me along because the city of Oakland basically treated me like shit. This is a story that I have told before. And the NFL, in the face of Joe Brown, says, Zenny, and he said this at the NFL Follows Owners meeting at the press conference as Commissioner Tagliabue was announcing that Jacksonville was the winner of the right to host the 2005 Super Bowl. He said to me, if there's anything we can do for you, you come up and you let us know. All right? And I did. A few years later, called him. I reminded him of that. He said, yeah, I remember. What can I do for you? I said, I'd like to cover the NFL draft, but I want to do it in a unique way, a tech-oriented way. And to make a long story short, that's what happened. So this is part of what I do as media. This is my company. This is Zenny62 Media. This is what I do. All right? But this specialization, this is one of my unique training and relationships allow me to do better than anybody else. And that is why I'm involved in it. Now, let's see here. Please develop the entire area. This is not just about the Raiders, but for the people. That's true. That's Timmy Lee. John Burkhumo. Screw Vegas. Okay. All third parties aren't created equal in NFL's eyes. Well, that's true. Zuli, that's true. But the bottom line is it's still a third party, okay? If Oakland treated you like shit, why do you support them? Because I love my city. And when we're talking about Oakland, it's not like this big amorphous thing that says, Zenny, you suck. It's, certain people at a certain time that were in places of power that, like Jerry Brown, who's the governor now, this is public. I'm not saying anything to you that's not known. It's on the front page of 3 newspapers, okay? But I love this city. Now, Brad Brugman. Doesn't Commissioner Goodell want the first black ownership in the league with Ronnie Lott and the Fortress Group? I would think so. John Bicomo says, any keeping wheel. Thank you. Brian Lloyd. So why won't they build a dome here so we can get the Final Four Super Bowls and WrestleMania? I love the idea of a dome. But I really, I'm going to say there is one problem here. In that, I'll just say it. Oakland is becoming Berkeley. Or has become Berkeley to an extent. We're afraid to think big. It's always, it's like, if you're so rich, why aren't you smart? Okay? Or, whereas in the South, it's like, the South treats you like this. It's like, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? It's a difference, all right? And here we say that. We say, okay, if you're so rich, why aren't you smart? And therefore, we're better than you. And it even goes to a deeper plane than that. But I'll get to that in a second because I want your questions. Warren Hands, how you doing, Warren? Do you think the owners actually be allowing Mark to enter a deal if they know he'll fail it? No, I don't. Miguel message, retract the Raider 89. Why can't the NFL just build their so-called them team Raiders a football stadium? They got so much money. That's a very good question. But what I've been told as an answer is that if the NFL gives the Raiders the money, it will supposedly set a precedent that other owners will take advantage of. And so the real question is, how much free and clear money does the NFL have? And the answer is not that much. You have to remember something, all right? I think it was 2 years ago, the NFL at the time didn't want this known, but they were trying to negotiate with the players' union to have the players' union help them finance part of a stadium in Los Angeles to the tune of $300 million. So there isn't this huge amount of money out there when you start taking these chunks and dividing them up between players and staff and operating stadiums and everything else from cheerleaders to transport, you name it, okay? It starts to whittle down real quick. Oh, and then you factor in costs and inflation and unexpected issues. And it's not always this rosy picture of having a huge amount of money all the time. So, what percentage of voters will vote yay or nay in Las Vegas? Falls, not sure about that one. If you're filthy rich by a sports team. Brad Brugman, who asks great questions. Roger Goodell has screwed up a lot, but he can make his case a good commissioner by selling the Raiders Stadium in Oakland. Yes. John Marks. John, how you doing? Vegas is dead, and I think Davis knows it. He's flailing around. As far as I'm concerned, it's dead. It's like this, but it's fun to kind of watch him keep it on life support. What are the dates for the Nevada legislature to decide on new objectives? There are no dates, Richard. There are no dates to decide on a new objective. Now, to answer your question a different way, the parties have until April of 2018 to do something. All right, basically about a year, just over a year. All right, before the subsidy goes away, unless of course it's written out of existence, and that could happen too. John, I'm good, John. Thank you very much. I miss my mom. I'm happy to be here, but she's in Chicago, and I'm all right. All right. Vegas is on life support. The owners are voting in 3 weeks. Haven't voted down a relocation since the 80s. There's always a first time. Nick Falls, do you think relocation hurt the Rams last season? They were a team on the rise. I think that they really overestimated the LA market. The problem, Nick Falls 75, is that basically, and I'll say this real quick. Let me put the Rams here and say with Victoria Simpson. Raider fans need to stand up and go to the next NFL owners meeting in Phoenix. Show them we want our Raiders to stay in Oakland. Raider fans, stand up. Yes. And now, Nick Falls, get back to the relocation of the Rams. There was a nostalgia there. They thought of LA as if it were in the past, but also the real reason this was done was franchise value. All right. I've told everyone how this is started, but I'll re-explain it again, but in shorter fashion. All right. What happened was that when Stan Kroenke, excuse me, when Steve Ballmer bought the LA Clippers for $2 billion, a number of NFL owners went apeshit and said, how come we don't have a team down there? Because if a team were there, the collective franchise value, and that deal that occurred with an NFL team, the collective franchise value of all the teams would have been lifted. So they engineered this deal to basically focus on the two cities that had the oldest stadiums and needed refurbishing, or rebuilding, if you like, Oakland and San Diego. And the league concocted this plan that was intricate in its PR approach, a little clumsy at first start, but they got their act together to first try to put the teams in Carson. And this is the way they dressed it up, the Raiders and the Chargers. They said, well, this is an alternative plan. And this is on February 19th of 2016, 15, excuse me, when they announced this. This is an alternative plan. And it was to be done in case they didn't get the stadium deals, all right? It was an alternative plan, all right? Now, and so the alternative plan over the subsequent months became real, fast. That's how we got to this situation. It's all about franchise value, trying to get franchise value. Now, if the Raiders move, will the A's take advantage and demand Oakland plays public dollars? No, not happening. Why did LA accept the Rams and the Chargers but couldn't take the Raiders? I just don't understand they treat the Raiders less. No, Raider 89, that's not the issue. The Rams had a better proposal, a more exciting stadium. You have to remember something. We're talking about the Raiders situation. What are you getting in the Raiders case? You don't even know what you're getting. The design that you've seen is the same one that was used originally in Carson. And yet they've said, hey, look, that's not what we're going to be using. So no one knows what's going to be there, let alone where. They say Russell Road, but the Raiders don't own the Russell Road land, and don't give me this garbage about an option. They don't own the land. Okay? Saying. Now, okay, are we moving in your opinion? I'm Anthony Antonucci. My answer is no. I'm going to hold out because it's kind of like the election, right? It's 50-50. And you don't want to say that Trump's not going to win when it's 50-50 chance he can win, and he won, right? So I'm going to say there is that possibility. But as far as I'm concerned, the deal is dead. I can see... No, actually, I can't. I can't see a scenario where this works out. The economics don't work. There's nothing about it that makes sense. Nothing. So really, this thing should be killed. And it's going to. It's going to go away for the reasons I told you. Now, but it is up to Oakland. See, look, here. I'm not letting the mayor off the hook. All right? And the mayor's my god sister, so I'm not speaking derisively of her. But the mayor's got to put in the coup de grace, and it's got to be some major change in the proposal, something. She's got to basically do that thing that changes the game. If she does that, it's over. Part of it is show the artist's rendition for the stadium as it will look. That hasn't been done. Why? I don't know. That should have been done a long time ago. That hasn't been done. Now, by the way, the relocation fee is $550 million, not $300 million. This Las Vegas field has too much momentum just to die. Momentum with who? I don't see that. With the media, yeah, but the media always has gotten this wrong a lot. T.I. Howard, hey, how you doing, T.I.? Last week, publicly heard from Libby, she sounded really pissed at the NFL. Well, when are you thinking? Because she hasn't, unless I missed something today. It's always pretty hot in Las Vegas, like all the time, so you need a dome stadium. So have they looked past Las Vegas Arena football team attendance? It just feels like fan interest is just important. This is Sir Noah-Lott. I know it's not equivalent to the NFL, but does Vegas even want a football team? No. And I'm glad you asked that. There's not this hue and cry out there among people I talk to say, get the Raiders here. Yeah, 50% of the people that are just, whatever. Seriously. You have to remember, Las Vegas is a transient town. It's not this place where you've got generations and generations and generations of families that dominate the population. I'm not saying Las Vegas doesn't have that. It does. But Las Vegas is still, for our practical purposes, a young town. Now, Barry Lee, the NFL consider a tax. Sorry, Barry, I went by faster than I could see that. Money Man, how you doing? Money Man, you're wrong. The relocation fee is $550 million. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you correct somebody else, Money Man? It is no, Money Man, you're wrong. Sorry, it's $550 million. Okay. Money Man is Tarek. Tarek, knock it off. You're wrong. Got something to say? Call me later. Now, will the NFL reject Oakland plan again? They say Oakland deal is not changed, is not viable. It has changed, but it hasn't changed enough. It is viable. No, Octavia, let me explain what Eric Grubman wants to see. He wants to see, and I wrote about this, I had an idea of a change in land assignment where the NFL will get the land, and there's a provision in the Fortress term sheet to have the NFL as a partner, as a development partner, all right? He also wants to see a development timetable. That can be done. They need to bring in my buddy Kofi Bonner, who built the Cleveland Browns Stadium. He's director of urban land from Lennar here in the Bay Area. Very successful. Knows what he's doing. He's known by the NFL. He fixed this in a jiffy. He brings instant credibility to whatever they're doing. Now, I've told them to call Kofi. A number of people have. They haven't brought in Kofi. Why? I don't know. But I know, I personally believe that right now we should be slam dunking Vegas. And I say slam dunk, I don't mean like, they're ahead. We should be slam dunking them into the tank. If this is done the way that I'm talking about. I'm being blunt with you, okay? This should be end game. We should do something that says end game. End game. That's what you want. Game over, pal. That's what you want to come out and say. Game over, babe. Anyway, you'll bet me $100 it won't be close to $550. I'll take a gentleman's bet, because every time I bet somebody money, they never pay off. So I'll just bet you're wrong, because I know you're wrong. Anyway, T.I. Howard, could the NFL just be stringing Libby along, telling her what to do? She does it, and then Grubman comes out and says Oakland hasn't offered anything different. T.I. Howard, the answer is yes, but that would be also grounds to lawsuit, because what you just described is called lack of good faith business practice, and they could be sued on that basis. And I'm not saying the NFL could be sued by the city of Oakland, and I'm not talking about what's written in the NFL's relocation policy. No, I'm talking about pure and strict uniform commercial code, pure and strict California laws for proper business good faith dealing, and other similar laws state by state. You can't do that, all right? MM Forever. Hey, Zinni, how you doing? Adam Schefter just said on Sports Center, Mark Davis has the 24 votes. Schefter has been right on St. Louis and San Diego so far. We'll see. I doubt that. I kind of doubt that. In fact, I really do doubt that. Because my whole point is, I doubt it. I saw some drawings that did not look that good. Zinni, please continue to be proactive and send your 2 cents to Levy. I'm doing that, Casper. Thank you. Moneyman, why would Libby give the NFL an appeal of the land? Moneyman, your question doesn't make sense. Airplane Blues, Adam can, whatever. McLean, Zinni, you are the only thing keeping from jumping off the Oakland side of the Bay Bridge. Please don't do that. If you want to do something, call the Raider. Why don't you guys just call the Raider office? Call them and give them a piece of your mind. Do that, Why aren't there more voices? Yeah. scream about 42% established. That's right. Rich is Rich Gilton. Traveling tourists needed to show up. That doesn't pencil out. Which there are a number of people saying that. So don't get the idea that Nevada is entirely in favor of all of this. No. Okay. Now, Lion Tamer 13. Mark Davis just wants to feel the love from Oakland. Libby needs a serious sit down with Mark. Well, serious financial planning will get done. Vegas really now. Lion Tamer makes a great point. That is star comment of the day. I like that one. Yeah. Suquan, spam Mark and Mark's personnel with whatever. MM Forever. Hey Zinni, how you doing? Will local radio shows and Comcast Sports Net still cover the Raiders on a daily basis so they leave? Don't know. Donald Richardson, we did call their office. We filled up the inbox voicemail. Awesome. Ask for Mark Davis, though. Say, hey, can you put me through to Mark Davis? Or Mark Bedane? Call their voicemails. It's one thing to fill up just the local, the regular one, but get theirs, and do that, right? Or send Mark Bedane emails, Mark wants Las Vegas and he doesn't care what we think. Yeah, that seems to be the case. It doesn't matter what we want. We wouldn't, okay. Zinni, what would you do if you were the owner of the Raiders in regard to the Raiders' new football stadium situation? I would, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd stay in Oakland, and I'd copy what Arthur Blank did with respect to Atlanta, because Las Vegas presents a very flimsy economic situation that's only going to get worse as this economy changes. Let me give you another picture, all right? If our president, and even though I didn't vote for Trump, I still believe in respecting the American system. If our president gets what he wants in terms of these import taxes, he will cause the prices of number of goods and services we purchase to go up. And that, in turn, will cause a slowdown in the economy. And unless the feds jump in with the appropriate amount of interest rate, increasing in the money supply, ideally to cause interest rates to fall, we could have a slowdown in the economy that could lead to a recession. No, not a depression, all right? But we're about due for a slowdown. We've had some great years under President Obama, but this idea that Trump has, and then of course you throw in, let's say, healthcare, right? All of a sudden, you've got prices for everything going up. Obamacare, let's say they get their way and they take it off the books and the subsidies gone, which I hope they don't. But let's say they do. All of a sudden, you have 20 million people plus or so that are dealing with rising healthcare costs. Tax credits are bullshit, all right? It's ridiculous. Tax credits don't have the same impact on your income as a subsidy. They just don't. So, the bottom line is, your healthcare costs go up. Yeah, the import tax, your prices go up. So you're seeing prices around you for everything go up. That's what we're looking at. That's a very real possibility of throwing this choke chain around economic growth, all right, that then leads to recession. So when that happens, what happens to tourism? Tourism is impacted. What happens to stays in Vegas? They're impacted. Which hurts what? The ability to raise hotel tax money for the bond issue. Yeah, they went through that as a scenario. But not only does it hurt that, then the hotel people turn around, raise their hotel prices, to get money, right? To make up for the shortfall. And they say, oh my goodness, we know this Raider game is going to come, and so we're going to really jack up hotel prices, and so people don't make the trip. So suddenly you've got 20 to 30,000 people that are not there. That's a very real possibility. Now I'll give you credit, like there are going to be some big games, like the first year or two, it's going to be like, oh, if it happens, right? And then it's going to go like, oh, and then crash. Because the novelty would have worn off. When I built my stadium model, which was used in 40 colleges and high schools around the United States, I had a factor as a 3-year novelty factor for a new stadium. The question is, what happens after that 3 years wears off? And that is the real test of the economic envelope you placed yourself in. What do I mean by economic envelope? Population size, buying power, competitive purchases around the region, and so on. That's what I mean. T.I. Howard. Zinni, we are dealing with rising health care premiums. No, I'm not. No. No, actually, we're not. In fact, T.I. Howard, healthcare premiums have, when they've increased, it was at a decreasing rate than they would have increased without Obamacare. That's a fact. So, no. Forget the conservative media. Just, okay, go and do the math. The data is right there, my man. Forget your Fox News. Now, okay. Aaron tweet, a lot of Oakland wants to impeach Libby already. How can we speed this up? Oh, wow. That's horrible. Tell her to put ego aside and save the Raiders, and she will be an epic joke and failure. I suggest you call the office and tell her that, you know. Is any talking about the other Raiders, not other teams? Neil Zez, what do you want to know? Just quite curious. Ms. Mona, do you think Mr. Adelson will allow Mark to continue to do business in Vegas with the underhanded deal he tried to present him? I don't think he's excited about it. Okay? I think he believes that the stadium could help his hotels and overall, but is he excited about Mark Davis basically getting what he wants after treating the way he has? Of course not. Of course not. Is anyone in Vegas, actually lifting their hands to help him out? And see, here, you know what? Stop the press. This is where you're going to have a test of how Vegas politics responds to the Mark Davis situation. Because the legislature will have to, the legislature will have to consider the issue of Senate Bill 1 and how it's written in terms of ownership versus the Raiders deal. If they're not excited to change it, hey, you know what? That's a signal right there. That's a signal. Now, T.I. Howard, you're wrong. Okay, Miguel, come on, Zinni, Fox News is not real news. It's not. MM Forever, why doesn't Mark Davis just move to Santa Clara and avoid paying debt on a new stadium? Because, as Jed York told me, Mark Davis doesn't like the color of the seats in Levi Stadium. Zali, 18 owners between the NFL finance stadium committees that are recommending a vote. They won't vote unless Mark has the votes. No, that's not true. They'll vote. I want people to understand something. They're recommending a vote. But, look, they're not going to just walk into a room, all right, and say, okay, let's vote and that's it. What's going to happen is it's going to be a long process of one party going into a meeting and talking about the stadium design, another one going to the meeting and talking about theirs, and talking about a number of details. That's what happened with Carson. It's not going to be the way you think. It's going to be long. It's going to be a long meeting. It's going to be long. And it's going to have a lot of detailed considerations and questions, and models are going to have to be shown and everything else. Okay? And what will happen is in the discussion, out of that discussion, which will be testy, will come a decision. All right? T.I. Howard, when will the entire body of owners get the talk from the NFL about the kind of market LV is? When will they hear all the demos and such that make it a risky market? That is being done. They're in the process of that. It's not done. Why would the NFL allow so many teams in the LA area? Rams, Chargers, Raiders right next door. I'm not sure. They haven't made the decision yet. So, yeah, hold on. What owner factions are forming to vote for or against it? I know the answer to that, but I don't want to put that out there to that detail. Okay? Yet. Anthony Antonucci, what is the Lott Group offering? When the Lott Group has an offer for the NFL as a provision, as a development partner, it's offering a mixed-use development complex of 105 acres with the Raiders at the center. The Raiders can share in the money from those development buildings around the stadium, which I think is a big deal. And as I told Libby before, but I say, hey, look, you got to say to Mark Davis, I got $2 billion for you, free and clear cash. You got to outcash him. Okay. Now, dystopian time, beef supreme. T.I. Howard, I just don't get why the NFL doesn't first decide if a city is NFL approved before any owner can apply to move there. You are absolutely correct. Yes. The one thing, T.I. Howard, second star question, comment of the day. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because the one thing that I learned in forming a Super Bowl bid is the Super Bowl is a great barometer of where you are or are not as an NFL city with respect to population size, buying power, transportation, infrastructure, everything else. And that should be applied to cities. There should be an automatic cutoff point. You're either there or you're not. End of story. You're absolutely right. Slow clap for T.I. Howard, says Wukong. Cassius Petit. What's he talking about? Anyway, Octavio, unless the entire Bay Area chips in, Oakland won't have a desirable deal for the NFL. That's not true. Has B of A, you know why? Because we have rich tech executives, and we need to take them. Has B of A actually confirmed that they are part of this Las Vegas deal? No. Because, V of A is not confirmed. They walked in for show, and they stated an intent to put together a deal. But they haven't done it, all right? It's a big difference. Big difference. One moment. Okay. I got to tweet this out. I got to tweet this out so that it's seen, all right? Now, let's see your share. And I will go to Twitter. Yeah, sorry. And I'll go to Oakland NFL. Excuse me. Just NFL Raiders. There. All right. There we go. Okay, now. And I'll put this out one more other place. Why not? Google Plus. And let's see here. Pyro Jake, what stadium will the Raiders move to? Well, the one that they're not moving anyway. The Raiders, Miguel Rose, the Raiders deserve to have their new football stadium already, so the Raiders need to hurry up and make things happen already. Things are moving way too slowly. Someone said Grugman contradicts what I said about B of A. How so? In what sense? Grubman, Bank of America is well known in the NFL, yes. Having Bank of America appear Monday means that they're prepared to put up the fine. Yeah, think about, look, you just answered my question for me. Zali, you said, look, having Bank of America appear at the Monday meeting means saying they're prepared to put up the financing carried a lot of weight. But they haven't done it yet. Thank you for proving my point. It's not a done deal. They just were in the room. I'm just saying that. How many times do I have to repeat myself? Hey, clean out your ears, okay? Come on now. Give me a break. Man, I don't believe this stuff. Anyway. Paint Octavio. Arias, paint the chairs in Levi black. Right. Beef Supreme, they should move to Portland, Oregon, or Eugene if Oregon has no team, the desert sucks. So what do we call them? The Portlandia Raiders? Couldn't resist. Oh my God, oh my God, they're going to do it. It's a mere formality. Do what, Money Man? Do what? Brad Bragman, would Berkeley be a temporary home while new Oakland Stadium is built? That's a very good question. The answer is no. They could try to negotiate with the university. There's a lot of NIMBYism up there that first reared its head in 1974 after the Raiders played at Cal Memorial Stadium for the season, part of the season, excuse me, and there was new resolutions issued that make that more difficult. I'm not going to say impossible, all right? But I believe Levi Stadium would be the first choice as an alternative for the Raiders to play while their new stadium was being built. in Oakland. Now, yeah, T.I. Howard says no, Calhoun has no parking. John Mark says Portland has no land. Moneyman, BMA will finale it. That's what finale what? B of A is not Jesus Christ, Moneyman. So whatever. T.I. Howard was at the Cal game, 1974. How old were you, man? Bragg Bugman. Plus the parking sucks in Berkeley. Yeah, but Top Dog's great. Bill Waller. The Zinsters are on point tonight. Yes. Great job, Zinsters. Woo! Agree or disagree, you guys rock. I like it. John Hawkes. Do you have any details about Lee's presentation? No, but I'll get them. T.I. Howard, young. Give me an age, man. Come on. That is hilarious. It's young. Okay, fine. That is hilarious. Give me an age. Let's see here. MM Forever. So the only determined to Mark Davis moving to Santa Clara and making money over money is because of the color of the stadium. That's what I was told. Okay? I'm not... You can't make this stuff up. You know? Julie, would the owners vote for the Raiders to move to Las Vegas? Will you pay... When the owners, will I pay off my bet? My bet to who? If you're referring to Mr. Albright, considering that he tried to take what he thought was my personal information and put it off on Twitter, the answer is no. I don't want to deal with the guy. I blocked him. I reported him to Twitter. He is not a good person. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, any relationship I have with him of any kind was put off when he started doing that low rent crap. All right. I don't deal with people like that. I don't have them in my life. I don't have them in my orbit. They're scary. You understand? If he had done that a certain way, he could have went to jail. So there's your answer. Now, okay. Miguel is delusional. Hey, Zinni. Hey, Jason Rivera, thank you very much, man. Master Octagon, Master Octagon, what was your question? I'm not purposely skipping anything. Things go by fast. If you have a good question, hey, anybody here will tell you. You have a good question? Have it taken, don't suck. You know what? I'll let it know. So type it. All right. Now, Master Octagon. Somebody said that the collateral won't be the stadium, but the project. Is that true? The project is the stadium. Okay. That clear it up? The project is the stadium. So there you go. Brad Brookman, stay positive, dude. Got it. The real Noriega. Okay, Zinni. Both B of A was born in San Francisco. Why didn't MD ask for a loan? Because that's what a loan from BSA in the Bay. I don't understand that one. Can you explain it a different way? Isaac Rojas. A lot of media reports that the B of A loan was received very positive. What's your take on that, Zinni? Well, I mean, look, Bank of America walks in and states their intent to do it. I mean, what's anybody going to say? Oh, gee, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't be here. Of course it was received positively. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Laugh at them? Just, come on. That doesn't mean the details are not scuttling this. And they are. Now, Richard Lucero, how you doing? I'm doing well. Hey, what's going on, Zinni? I think Mayor Libby is so hot. That's just my opinion. Fine. Why does a lot of Oakland native hate her so much? You said it yourself. Tell her to let Davis know that. I think Libby is in a position where any mayor would be, given the sudden and frightening economic changes and social changes that Oakland has went through. And it's not a matter of being black or anything to solve them. You have to creatively finance your way out of this and build affordable housing, first of all. A. B, you have to determine a way to pay for the growth of cultural economics here, to keep artists here, keep our soul of Oakland alive. All right? And and then also you have to basically sue the state of California to get redevelopment back, or just use property tax money as tax increment financing like we used to do. And we financed a lot of improvements in Oakland with that. For example, the great city manager Henry Gardner, Oakland, told me that we would use it for the removal of crack houses in East Oakland. The Coliseum redevelopment area, almost 7,000 acres, was the largest redevelopment project area in California. That means we took all of our property tax revenues, shared none of it with the state, and basically collected it for ourselves through the redevelopment agency and redistributed it within the city. That gave us an enormous affordable housing fund that when Jerry Brown became governor and got rid of redevelopment was caused to be evaporated. All right. So you have us. We have this set situation that Libby has been put in, and politicians have let Jerry get away with this because he's such a progressive. I mean, come on, he's not a progressive. But that's why we're in this situation. Plus, institutional investor racism, which once plagued Oakland, people used to leapfrog Oakland and not spend money here, is gone because of Jerry Brown, and now because of this influx of what we call the hipsters and all that, all right? But we haven't planned for this, so we don't know how to deal with it. And so Libby comes within this, people react a certain way to her, and I think unfairly because she's well-spoken and attractive, and there are people who have sexist issues with that. And so out of that, you get what we're seeing. Now, Isaac Rojas, I get that, but it seems like the media is reporting that Mark Davis is under a positive light. That's true. When the past rumors he was seen as a Tommy boy. Do you think that has now changed? No, they're still painting him in a positive light because they want access to him. That's why. Jerry Jones is not helping Davis anymore. Sorry. John Hackis, I think the A's 10-year lease was a killer. No, it's not a 10-year lease, John. It actually has an option on it. So, and it's not breaking the lease. That's, I don't know where, John Hockey, I don't know where you got that idea from. I do know, but that's wrong information. It's actually, it has an option year, and the option year is coming up. So, no. In Isaac Rojas, since he has B of A to back him up, Kyle E. Johnson, do you think gender plays a role in negotiations with Davis and Libby? Oh, yeah. Okay, because one Raider person, a higher level executive, I'm not going to use the name, sent an email to another person, a media person, the name I'm not going to use, referring to Libby as the B word. It was nasty. The Raiders repeatedly have, behind the scenes, they've refused to return Libby's phone calls. They've treated her in a way that basically shows less respect for the mayor of Oakland than the mayor deserves. And if I told you all of the details here, you would come away saying, hey, look, how can any man treat a woman elected official who is mayor the way that they've treated her? I'm being raw, blunt, and honest. And if anyone wants to refute my claim, hey, I stand ready to go to battle. Libby has not been treated appropriately here. She's taken a lot of unnecessary crap. But, you know, as the mayor, you say it's a thankless job, right? But I'm just being honest. With respect to the Raiders, they could have treated her a lot better. I mean, much better than they have. It's awful. If the Raiders treated your mother the way that the Raiders treated Libby, you'd be ready to go to war against the Raiders. You understand? You want me to repeat that? If the Raiders treated your mother the way they treated Libby, you would be ready to go to war against the Raiders. You got that? I'm really serious, and I hope someone from the Raiders is watching. There is a trail. This is social media. There's a trail of stuff that's been put out there. And emails that haven't been sent yet, but I know they exist. I know they exist. So, no, they have treated Libby horribly. Now, Richard, thank you very much. Kenny Badia, Zinni, what do you think about Burger King's new crispy chicken sandwich? Haven't had it yet. I wish, tell Burger King to sponsor me and then I'll eat it on camera. Barry Lee, if anyone's calling Libby B word with the Raiders should be fired, yes they should. And the NFL should take action against those employees. Yes. Jose Juarez, when was the last time you talked to Mark Davis? It's been about a month or two. 2 months. Miguel Rose, Zinni, I would never want to war against the Raiders. I'm willing to die for the Raiders. I live, breathe, and die for the Raiders. Understood. Sibis, I'm good, bro. W. Michael, doesn't the NFL understand that traveling with children to a game... God, that went by too fast. Let's see here. Zinni, I can't want you SIO guys to listen to him over NFL overs and Grubman. If you made a comment that made sense, I get that, but whatever. T.I. Zinni, that comment by the NFL about the A's was bunk. Sounds like they wanted to paint Oakland presentation in a bad light. Yeah, they did. Because Eric works for Mark Davis, not Libby Schaff. Okay. And the commissioner. Isaac Rojas, will the issue of the Raiders owner not wanting to negotiate in good faith with the city of Oakland become an issue when it's time to vote? It could. Something else, too, you have to keep in mind. Eric's job. Eric is the modern Jim Steig. And what I mean by that is, a lot of you don't know. Does anybody, by a show of yes or no, know who Jim Steig is? Just let me know. I'm going to wait. Do you know who Jim Steig is? Let me know. Let's see. SIO, stay in Oakland. What the fuck? Oh, I get you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. No. You don't know. A lot of people don't know who Jim Steig is. All right. Yes. Jay Pryor does. Cool. No. Nah. All right. Jim Steig, his title was Senior Vice President of events for the National Football League, Mr. Super Bowl, and the person who worked with me when I formed the Super Bowl bid. He was the person that received all of my materials. I think you all have seen my bid book. The bid book is not with me; it's back in Georgia. But the bottom line is, he received all of my materials. Hotel contracts that were collected, everything that I did with the help of the staff of the Oakland Convention and Visitors Bureau under the late Manette Beliveau, rest in peace. Lovely person, lovely woman. Died of breast cancer. Excuse me. At any rate, Steig basically lifted me up to make sure that I was competitive with Oakland, I was representing Oakland, was competitive with Jacksonville and Miami, all right? That's what he did. And what he would do is he would say, okay, Zinni, Jacksonville has this, Miami has this to a degree, and we need this from you, all right? And then he would report it. He would basically bluntly say, he's done this to me, what the NFL is doing to Libby. He said, I'll never forget it, if that Zinni gets his plan built, it's going to be the most expensive Super Bowl ever, But it was 22.9 million. Hey, I had to build a temporary third deck. I had to pay for it, all right? I got the plans right here. You want to see them? Hold on a second. For those of you who think I'm just blowing smoke and all that crap, eat that. That's only part of it. Okay? All right? That's only part of it. So, if you want to see so you can see there. It says Network Associates Coliseum. Right down here. You see the words over there, all right? And everything. And that's one of the temporary third decks, okay? So, you get the idea. There's more plans behind me. But you get the idea, all right? So, my point is, a little show and tell for you there. All right? Now, okay. Let's see here. What's the number of the Raiders' office? Good. Look that up, John, and post it. Do you think Libby could get the... Okay, these... Jay Pryor, what happened to the... wow. These things are going fast. Hey, Zinni... Wait, okay, here we go. Zinni, why is the NFL committee recommending the Raiders to Las Vegas? They're not recommending the Raiders to Las Vegas. They're recommending that the owners vote on it. Okay? But they have questions. So it's not they're saying, okay, do this. But they're saying, hey, look, we've got questions, but we're going to put this to a vote. But we want our questions answered. All right? Now, if those questions aren't answered, boom. On today, Matthew Silva. Let's see. Vinny B says the problem in Oakland is due to Oakland not letting the Raiders and the NFL have the Coliseum land to develop as they wish. What is your take on that? The NFL wants decision on the A's. Vinny is sort of right, but the trouble is that the term sheet, all right, the term sheet allows for the NFL to be a partner. Now, yeah, they want the land assignments changed, and that can be done. Why it's not done, I would I would have to assume Libby's standing in the way. That's the only reason I can assume. And if Libby's standing in the way, yeah. If she's standing in the way there, we could be fucked. All right? Because that can be changed easily. I'm just being honest with you. You can't say I'm not being honest with you. Because I know, there's no reason why Fortress would not want to do that. So, do you think Libby could get public funds by the percentage of the Raiders and make them publicly owned by the city? I think there's a way that could be done. When is the actual vote for relocation? It is, I believe, the 27th of this year. Let's see here. John Haka, why is she standing in the way? Whoa, John, she's mayor. She doesn't stand in the way. What you mean is, I get what you mean. I need to confirm that. I'm speculating. Don't hold what I said as the absolute gospel. I'm speculating, all right? I'm speculating, okay? Now, I know that there's been some softening up regarding the land issue, but I'm speculating. But also, the NFL has to come forward with its money. If it's going to develop, is it going to put money into the deal? That's what the city of Oakland wants to see, okay? Now, do they give them the land? That's the other question. It just has to be, it can be reassigned. It can be done. There you go. There's the number. If our Raymond Ortiz, how you doing, Raider? And Simus 1974, how you doing, Simus? Hey, Zinni, what about moving the Raiders to Central California between Chowchilla and Bakersfield and renaming them the California Raiders? You mean the California Raisins? The California Raisins? The California Raisins. Does that mean they have uniforms like a raisin? The California Raisins. I don't like the idea. Anyway, okay, now. Isaac Rojas, do you consider Benny Boniciori and Sam Farmer as credible sources? I consider them as good guys. I like talking with them. Are they always right about things? No. I don't like the term credible source. That's like an absolute. You either are or you're not. I'm not gonna go there. Okay. Let's see here. Jack Bauer, it's 10:36. California Raisins. Yeah. Heard it through the grapevine. Heard it through the grapevine. Anyway, okay. MM Forever. Will there be a BART or ferry to the A's new stadium at Howard Terminal? Yes. Do you think the A's will boost their payroll and be big players now going forward? Yes. Anthony Antonucci. Libby is assuming the people of Oakland don't care if the team leaves. She is making that assumption. She loses the Raiders, she's done in Oakland. I'd have to agree, I think I think she's making a bad play. I mean, I do get that sense sometimes. There is that. That's a big mistake. You don't want to have it written on your epitaph, I lost the Oakland Raiders. San Diego Chargers is one thing, but the Oakland Raiders, no. Okay? The minority owners of the Raiders have far more money than Davis. They want the Raiders to stay in Oakland because they believe in the value of the shares are greater than in Oakland and Vegas. That was Steely Blues. Seamus 24, I'm crying, California. Yeah, California Raisins. Yeah, it's sad that we can't get a stadium. We can get a stadium done here. Deal. We can get a stadium deal done here in Oakland. Could the city council just take over and get things done? They respect the mayor, and it's not like that. Anyway, Matthew Silva. If the A's were announced to move to Howard Terminal tomorrow, do you think this would change NFL's view of Oakland's proposal? Yes. She loses Raiders and Dubs. She's for sure loses re-election. That's a possibility. John Marks. Lionel Wilson have that done to him. Yep, that's true. Kenny Bhatia, it just seems like she's sort of putting enough to say she tried. Nah, I disagree with that. Although it is, you just gave me an idea of something. I was going to keep that to myself. The real... Jay Pryor, could you repeat the question? I'm not purposely skipping your question unless it's ridiculous. You have to understand, Jay Pryor, these things go past fast. I mean, so please, repost the question, all right? Let's see here. Jay Pryor, Zinni, what happened to the stadium proposal in Dublin Pleasanton? Okay. That was taken off some time ago. It was deemed not an optimal site in terms of its grading out. I remember what you're talking about. That's what happened to it. It just wasn't the most exciting. It wasn't the one that the Raiders wanted or anybody else. Okay, now, sorry about that, Jay Pryor. Barry Lee, any plans with the arena after the Warriors move? Don't know yet. I'll find that out. Beef Supreme, Lonnie Me, check that shit out. Both voted most beautiful spot in America 2 times in a row, and with winter shrieking, there should be more tourism. Okay. Anthony Antonucci, do you think voters could bully her into giving the NFL what they want? No. But I think that Libby has to think of it as getting to yes. Again, the Harvard Business School project of negotiation. Let's see here. It's 10:39. I've been on for what? I've been on quite a while here. But that's okay. I'm having fun. I'll go to 11 o'clock. What the heck? You're very welcome. She lost the Warriors. Very sad. Yeah. Do the NFL owners really think Vegas is viable for long-term success? No. No, not at all. By the way, I don't want you to wear your... I don't want to wear your t-shirt because it's so nice. Thank you, Barry. Folks, Barry Lee has bought the Zinni 62 t-shirt. Get your Zinni 62 t-shirt. The link is right below in the description in the video. Yeah. Now, T.I. Howard, any possibility that behind-the-scenes exec of NFL tell Mark, face it, man, you don't have the money, sell or stay Oakland. There may be somebody saying that. T. Cooper, I mean, the Oakland Raiders have a 20,000 person waiting list. Doesn't that count for anything as far as the NFL is concerned? Yes, if it's brought to the owner's attention. No one, you can't assume the owners know this. The mayor and the staff have to make that known, all right? Why is Libby presenting instead of the Lott group? It was together. Carrillo 7. Anthony Carrillo? Is this Anthony Carrillo? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Is it Anthony Carrillo? Anthony Carrillo? Is that you? Hey, man. Let me know if that's you. Let's see here. Are the NFL owners just smitten by the $750 million for short term? I get suppression, some are. Mark Davis is obviously incapable of running a business. Can the NFL force him to sell? Not exactly. Maybe. I need to research that. I think he can improve as a business owner, though. I really do. If in 2009 Vegas had the highest default rate on homes, and still, right, well, okay, in other words, how can Vegas be considered with all these economic weaknesses? Because, basically, hey, Anthony Carrillo, how you doing? Hey, man. Anthony, don't say Daddy-o, 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 because you're a father now. Man, I haven't seen you in a long time. I miss just hanging out. You got to call more often, man. Of course, you'd say, I should call more often. How the hell is New Jersey, man? Good to see you. Oh, anyway, and you and the beautiful wife, my friend and NFL draft colleague Anthony Carrillo is on the other side. He is Carrillo 7. Give him a hand when you can. He's a great quarterback in the past, a great dad, a great guy. Now, let's see here. Sid Skillman, whoever this is posting something out, so I'm just going to basically get rid of him, and he's out. All right? Now, okay. The Raiders should not move. Right. Anthony, you're very welcome, man, and it's just great to know that you're around. God, it really is. Sophie Palomar, what's going on, man? Please tell me Raiders staying in Oakland, please. I'm telling you the Raiders will stay in Oakland. I feel the Vegas deal is dead, but there are certain people trying to keep it on life support, and so it's kind of like Frankenstein's monster. It's going, I'm gonna kiss Zinni. I'm gonna choke Zinni. Anyway, you get the idea. Oh, so anyway, what are we going to learn on Thursday? We're going to learn how fricked up this thing really is what we're going to learn. Yeah, young Frankenstein too. Frau Brucher. Anyway, that's what we're going to learn. Oh, but for those of you who don't understand what he's talking about as far as Thursday is the meeting of the Las Vegas Stadium Authority. And I hesitated because it's going to be going through a name change by resolution to be called what it is called in legislation, which is the Clark County Stadium Authority. Zinsters, beware zombies. That's right. It's dead, man. It's dead. It can't work. Kiro Dog, is land the issue and not kicking out the A's? Why is every time we hear the Lott Group and their plan, it's always saying the NFL is not getting their concerns or question answered time after time? Because it's not to Eric's satisfaction. And Libby needs to bring out Dave Cavall, the president of the A's, and have him make a statement and just seal that in that. Because, and Libby also has to say, look, I want the A's at Howard Terminal, which means they're not going to be at the Coliseum. That's it. If they respect the mayor, that's enough for them. Now, and 20,000 weight lift should be brought up. It should be. It's not a matter of why. That's season ticket owners are the lifeblood. They're your shareholders. What do you mean? Please tell me, Lion Tamer 13. Please tell us what you really think, Zenny. Any possibility of public stock ownership of the Raiders similar to the Packers? That's a possibility. The NFL is open to it, but someone has to propose it. Hasn't been done yet. Mark Davis has to allow it. Hasn't been done yet. Anthony Antonucci. If the Raiders win a title after Libby loses, a team should get ran out on a tail, whatever. Let's see here. So why isn't she doing that? Doing what, John? Remind me again. John Marks. I will call David Cole the A's tomorrow. Please do. Can we get the Zenny t-shirts in black? I'll work on that. Good idea. I'll work on that. I will. Could you ask Cavall to reach out to Mayor Libby ASAP? Yes, I will do that. Yes. I will do that. In fact, if you're watching, Dave, please call Libby. I've got her cell. You probably do too. And I'm not kidding when I say that. I'm not being flip. What did I just said about Grubman? What did I just say about Grubman that wasn't true? I didn't say anything personally about Eric. I like Eric. Eric's a great guy. So what do you mean? Okay. As far as, are you talking about, explain that again, because there's so many questions here and answers. All right. Are you going to be tried out, be outside the, owners meeting and ask smart questions? Yes. Rumor is Oakland is in the lead to land Adrian Peterson. What do you think? I'm not excited about it, but let's see. Now, John Haka, why isn't? Well, John, I don't understand. Okay. I would like to call Libby myself and talk to her. That's John Marks. Okay. Now. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Let's see here. The Raiders and A's are like roommates that have just lived together too long. That's Angus Mac 316. That's fine. That's funny. Audio Vibes. Zenny, how you doing? Aaron Tweet. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Anthony Antonucci. We need to bounce Libby out of Oakland City office. No, I disagree with that. She's a great mayor. She's just going through some hard times. She needs a home run. The Raiders should be considered a home run. Who is advising the mayor? She's not taking my advice as much as she should. I know that. John Hackus. Why isn't Libby following the advice of NFL and Grubman? John, now I get it, okay? For the past year, I was under the impression that Libby was following the NFL's lead and Grubman's. Then the Nevada legislature voted the $750 million in the Senate bill, and everything changed. Because Fortress was involved in the Lott Group, right? And then there weren't clear messages from the NFL as to whether or not it wanted the group. Early in the year, we're for Lott. Then Lott got Fortress, and they became less excited. Meanwhile, Vegas already had Goldman Sachs involved. Oakland has banned Goldman Sachs from doing business in the city. That ban has been in existence since 2012, and I was part of that. Now, December 13th, Eric Rubin made statements that were negative, and that took everybody by surprise because prior to that, particularly with Libby and the commissioner, everything was, oh, this is great, this is great, this is great. But the minute Vegas looked real, it wasn't great from Libby's perspective. Libby told me that the NFL never asked to purchase the land. She told me that. However, I was under the impression the NFL had asked to purchase the land in 2015. Okay? So, what happened was that a friend of mine who works in economic development told me that they were all set to have the NFL as the landowner, but the NFL couldn't cough up the money. So it's always been a matter of, okay, you want this, but do you have the money to develop it? And that has to be worked out. Something fishy going here doesn't look good now. Let's see. Would you have getting new thoughts of Oakland, giving any design ideas for new stadium in Oakland? I have thoughts about it. Yeah, I personally think it should be a dome stadium myself, because it gives us more event to attract and build. It's a more flexible space, and we're lacking convention space to begin with. Ray Ortiz, just to let you know, keep up the strong work. Thank you. Keep it going. My whole family, from oldest to youngest ones, have hope in you. Thank you, sir. Keep Raider Nation home. Thank you, sir. Sean Grogan, what's the big deal hold up with the land? She's holding on too tight for homes, or NFL wants a big discounted rate. It's more a matter of, I think it can be worked out. I'm going to dig and find out what's really going on here. Find out if that's still active. Do you think the NFL is just getting tired of Libby? No, I don't. That's, no. Vahima76, wouldn't it be funny if the Raiders end up in San Diego? That would be tragic. Timmy Lee, Raiders, the only West Coast team winning. NFL will want to keep them in Oakland. I hope. Yeah, I agree. Mario Orzo, can you specifically state why Vegas is dead instead of just saying it is? Because it's not viable economically, because they have problems with coordination between the stadium authorities and the Raiders, and because you have a plan above all else, all right? It can't pay for itself relying on 40% tourism to sell tickets. That's not happening. It's dead because a lot of people in Nevada really don't want it. There's a lot of manufactured enthusiasm about this thing. That's why it's dead. It's dead because that area, if you say it can hold football, you know what? It's on the cusp of being able to, or not. It's iffy. And look at how the hockey organization is performing from a season ticket sales standpoint and enthusiasm standpoint. It's kind of there, but it's not there. Okay? No. Vegas is dead. It was a $1.9 billion including NFL transfer fee. No, it does not. If so, how would Mark pay the $500 million? It's actually $550 million. The Raiders should move to the Mushroom Kingdom instead of Las Vegas. That's funny. Mario Ozo, we won't know until it happens. That's true. Mario, you're right. We won't. Barry Lee. Yeah, John, it's 3 times the size of the Big Mac. Anthony Antonucci, if the Raiders leave, Libby better invest in strong soap to scrub eggs off her, whatever. Kiro Dog. What do you know how the last meeting of the NFL Libby went? In general, she showed up. She went there, all right? Could she have done better? Yeah. I'd rather have an open stadium, Bay Area weather is the best. Thank you for your vlogs and information. Zenny says T. Cooper. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Behema76. What if Chargers end up in Oakland? Hey, you know what? Take the Chargers, change the name to the Oakland Invaders. Hey, John Marks, remember the Oakland Invaders of 1983? Hey, make the San Diego Chargers the Oakland Invaders. Why not? I like the idea. But keep the Raiders here, and we have 3 NFL teams in one region. I like that. I can't take Vegas seriously as a big league sports town. Minor league, yes, but big league, no. Agreed. Yeah. Barry Lee. Sorry, Zinni. Just trying to make people laugh. I hear you, Barry. John Higa. Mark just got $650 million, so why can't Raiders NFL develop land? John, he hasn't got $650 million. He has an idea that where Bank of America says they will provide it, but he doesn't have anything. Careful. Hey, Zinni, so was Libby alone at the NFL owners meeting? No, she was not. She was with Ronnie Lott and Ronnie Pete. As I understand, no one from Fortress was in the room, which I think was a mistake, but I need to confirm that, okay? Hey, Zinni, this is Richard Lasudo. Hey, Zinni, do you see Derek Carr on ESPN this morning? They asked him about the team moving to Vegas. They asked him if it's bothering him. His answer to that is, I think it bothers the fans, which means it bothers him too. So there you go. I mean, hey, when your star quarterback is basically pumping something for the fans and he says it bothers the fans, you know this is not something that should be done. There you go. Sam Davis, just win, baby. Crawford 371, is Bank of America getting cold feet? They will be. Jay Revere, I remember Mark stating it. Oakland gave the land up, he would stay in Oakland. And I told Libby 2 years ago, give Mark Davis the land. He generates a property tax, you collect the property tax, you use it as tax income refinancing. Bingo! End of story. Whew. Can Adelson shut this down? He could. He could say something to Bank of America and say, you know what, don't do this. Never know. Corey Brown, I always thought the lot across the freeway from the Coliseum before they started developing was a good spot to put in Walmart, Sam's Club, and especially on game days. That plan has been in place since I was an intern for the redevelopment agency. In fact, that was my project. 1987. Now, I think T. Cooper, I think a retractable roof dome would be better, Zinni. I agree. Kylie Johnson, Zinni is the Raiders PR machine working the media to influence the owners, more like the NFL's PR machines. But yes, both. Zinni, run for mayor. Thanks, man. Is Sheldon likely to shut this down? I think he's going to take a shot behind the scenes. So why did she give up the land and avoid this BS? Good question. What do you think the odds are that the owners will actually vote in favor of Las Vegas? I would say it's 8 that they won't, 2 that they will. Particularly given what I know about these details. The previous mayor was willing. Why is Libby so admitted not giving the land up? You know, again, that logic, I don't know. We've been working on here it's been a while now. Oh, this is BSZ. Raider Al, I hear you, man. I'm ready for a deep dish pizza. Sean Grogan, have you ever heard rumors about Sheldon Adelson trying to bring another NFL team to Vegas? Yes, that was the Jaguars. I don't know how those talks went or if they really were held at all. I'll check. Have you heard any? Yeah, okay. What else? It's 10:56, folks. I'm about ready to close it up because T. Cooper, good night, because it's 11 o'clock here, which is about 4 o'clock on the East Coast. 4 o'clock in the morning? Wow, is that right? No. Yeah, 4 in the morning. Is that right? If it's midnight here, then it's 3 in the morning. No, it's not 4 in the morning. It's 1:57. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Thank you. Yeah, 2 a.m. You can tell I'm like zoned out, man. It's 2 a.m. Yeah. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Thank you. Night. Hey, Anthony Carrillo, man. I owe you guys, are you a wedding gift for your wedding? And I owe you a baby gift for your baby. Coming. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. Beef Supreme, thank you. Thank you. Good night, John. Good night. When we get your next update on the Stadium Raiders? Tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock Pacific. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night. John, reports of Finance Committee is 18 voters who are leaning toward a vote. That means only 6 owners would need to vote yes to pass to move to Vegas. John Marks, creature features forever. You got it. Raider Al, don't go to home games. Corey Brown, Zinni from Air. Thanks. Right in. Miguel Rose, the Raiders are new whole mascot. Ronnie, thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you, Raider Al. Good night. Thank you, Raider Al. Thank you for participating. Thank you, everybody. John Akia, good night. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Major respect. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Crawford 371, is Boss Man and Dr. Death going to be on? I'll ask him. I'll invite him. Boss called me in the middle, and I was like, it's on a live stream, dude. Sophia Palomar, hell yeah, Zitty from Air. Thank you. Dialing for dollars, bring back. Dialing for dollars. Oh my gosh, this is interesting. We're running against my god sister. No, I don't want to. Pat McCormick, I remember that. The great Pat McCormick. Hey, remember Star Trek on KTVU? It played twice, 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock back to back, like 1975 and 76. Yeah. Anyway. Anthony Antonucci, we played you on the front lines. Thank you. Can I need a number sign for Zinni? Thank you. Good night, Angus Mac 316. Good night. Patrick E. Hey, Zinni. Good night. But question: if things are so negative as you say, why is the NFL committee going to recommend the move to the owners? They're going to recommend the vote. All right. But there are questions. There are questions. This is being misreported. In fact, I was having an email conversation with Eric Grubin about that, because you have a situation where he is trying to explain a complex situation to lay people, including Robert's Rules of Order and how committee meetings work, and they're screwing it up. So the bottom line is that they're moving it forward for a vote, but they have questions about the Vegas deal. They're not going to say, vote for it, oh, but it's got egg on it. No. Okay. All right. Anthony Carrillo, you are the man. You're the daddy-o. You got it, man. See ya. Corey Brown, we need Bluebell ice cream in Oakland. We do. Hey, everybody. Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you. See you tomorrow. Again, same bat time, same bat channel. Zinni62 on YouTube. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you. Please.